Topping your news first, following the controversial Davis case, the governor has now teamed up with the attorney general to craft an appeal. But the AG tells PNC's Rebecca Elmore that she's looking beyond the Ninth Circuit, setting her sights on the Supreme Court. Here's more.
The office of the governor gathered local lawmakers and Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson together to explore a potential appeal on the controversial Davis case.
An appeal is one of them with respect to the Dave Davis case. And he wanted to make sure that, we were kind of all in agreement. It felt like everyone was, but just wanted to kind of make sure that, for the most part, we agreed that we didn't want to just let this go. That something needed to happen. I know everyone most everyone is familiar with the governor's goal to have a plebiscite vote for self-determination, for the island's self-determination.
And the governor's spokesperson, Oya Nirairikla, gave an impassioned response, reiterating that time was indeed of the essence.
Look, we've been doing this work since the 70s. We'd like to see it happen. We'd like to see our people get a vote, before we die. And that, that is a poignant reminder that there are times when you have to move forward.
But according to the Attorney General, it's going to be an uphill battle from here on out.
We're fighting the federal government here. Whether it's the Chamorro Land Trust Act, we're fighting the federal government, and in the plebiscite case, we're fighting the Constitution, and we're fighting a federal statute, the Voting Rights Act. So, we're fighting these very stringent federal concerns in a federal court, in front of a federal judge. That's a tough road.
Arnold Dave Davis won a landmark class action lawsuit against the government of Guam on the basis that he was denied the right to register for the plebiscite due to discrimination. The Attorney General called the ruling a, quote, strongly written federal decision.
26 pages, and I think Judge Gatewood did a very, very fine job in her analysis and writing the decision. She also made our job even more difficult to determine what are the remaining issues that we might be able to appeal on.
The remaining issues to craft an appeal will need to be decided before the April 7th appeal deadline. But the Attorney General says they're already thinking beyond just an appeal with the Ninth Circuit.
Analyzing Judge Gatewood's decision, trying to formulate what are the best arguments to appeal to the Ninth Circuit. We can't just look at arguments to the Ninth Circuit. We're actually looking at arguments beyond.
She says the Ninth Circuit poses as a brick wall to any potential appeals, and her office will have to look beyond district court and craft arguments that attract or convince the Supreme Court to take on their case. She says the avenue to a pure plebiscite vote is via Congress itself, and according to her, this is nothing new.
The territory lives within the hub of Congress, because Congress has plenary authority over every single territory in the nation. Guam is a federal instrumentality, according to the Narangas case I just told you about. And we are what Congress dictates and says we are. They do it for Indian tribes. They've done it for the Hawaiian Native Islanders. Do it for the Chamorro Native Islanders.
The plebiscite would seek to ask Native inhabitants to vote on 3 political status options: independence, free association with the U.S., and statehood. Chief Judge Francis Tydenko Gatewood ruled originally in Davis's favor, saying that excluding non-Chamorro from registering to vote in the referendum is racial discrimination in nature. This is why the AG's focus is equally set on the Supreme Court.
You, Congress, have the ability to say to the Chamorro Native Islanders that we can create a homeland trust for the preservation of your culture and your traditions. They can do that. Not fighting in court all the time. Say, we're going to fight, we're going to fight, we're going to fight, we're going to fight. Or do we just go back to Congress that can establish a congressionally approved method for the preservation of traditions and culture of a people.
Reporting for PNC News, I'm Rebecca Elmore.